perfect.
Back to you. I think there's another TikTok. You said, don't lead people on for 3 months, bro. Hashtag wasted 3 months of my life. Was that the same, this guy?
That one was about the same guy.
But so you feel like he led you on?
He said himself that he led me on.
During the breakup?
Yes.
He led you on how?
Because he ultimately decided he wasn't ready for a relationship when he thought he was.
Well,
so he led me on.
That's after you call him a bitch, though.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just. That's like it wasn't. It's not you. It's me.
Yeah, it was
like you don't want to. You want to.
It's an exit strategy for sure.
Yeah, he was probably just trying to let you down easy. Probably. But do you feel like you were led on?
Yes.
But I don't get this whole thing. This always has confused me. It seems like if a guy's not willing to commit or he ends a existing relationship, he's almost always framed as the bad guy for wanting to end a relationship. Whereas it occurs to me that women reserve the right at any moment to end a relationship for any reason. Frankly, I think anybody can end any relationship for any reason. You can date somebody or choose to not date somebody for any reason. Everybody has their own preferences, standards, and boundaries. But it's just interesting to me, like, just why the framing here of, like, have you ever ended things with a guy?
Yes.
Did you lead him on?
No.
Did you end things with the guy because he did something wrong?
Yes.
Okay, so then why is it that when you end things with a guy, it's because he did something wrong, but when a guy ends something with you, he also did something wrong?
Because when I end things with the guy, I give the guy chances to fix his mistakes, like if his behavior is
bad. If he cheats on you?
No. Just like if I notice like patterns, like he's not putting in effort or things like that.
Well, that's I suppose nice of you, but you're not required to do that. I'm sure you agree.
Yeah. I'm not, but I'm the type of person to have hope in things.
Yeah, but like he told you, if his reason was that he doesn't want a party girl, he told you he doesn't want a party girl. But then again, I'm just going back to it. You called him a bitch, and he was done in that moment. Mm-hmm. But he technically gave you a reason. So.
Well, then that was his reason.
But it's just weird. It's like, okay, if a guy breaks up with you after dating you for 3 months, 6 months, whatever, he led you on. But if a girl breaks up with a guy after 3, 6 months, however long, it's for reasons.
That's just ego, though. It's just I feel like that's the ego of like being led on. But
it's not leading. I don't think it's leading somebody on if you break up with somebody for a reason.
No. If you don't want to be there, you leave. That's the thing. Like if you can't be led on unless their intentions are different, unless they're telling you they want you to be a girlfriend, marriage, all these things, and then that's not really their intention, and they're just trying to hook up with you. Okay, that I understand being led on. Cool. But if you both decide that, hey, this is the person I want, and you're moving toward a relationship and you want the same goals, and that's why it's important to talk about values and goals and what you want in the beginning. So you're not led on because you know exactly what you're getting. So
with everything that we're telling you, do you agree?
No, yeah. I'm soaking it all in, and I'm like reminiscing.
Okay. And for future, are you going to change that?
Probably, yeah. Because I know right now I am young, and so I do make stupid decisions sometimes. So hopefully when I'm older,
You're young, but you're still an adult. So you're capable of doing everything. You were capable of doing it right from the start. It's just you didn't.
Yeah.
So just take heed what we're saying.
Cool. That was a good question, actually.
How old do you want to be? Or like, have you obviously said date to marry, but do you want to get married really young? Are you wanting to have a family young, or? I mean, because you are young right now, so it's totally fine to party while you're young if you want to get married a little later. But are you looking to get married like very early? Is that your idea?
I wouldn't say like early, like probably when I'm done with college.
So in a couple years.
So yeah.
I mean, I would just say if you should look at what type of husband you want, and that goes with like lifestyle, travel, party, everything. And it's kind of like showing up to a job interview. So if you show up to a job interview in your pajamas, you're probably not going to get the best job. If you want someone to accept you in your pajamas, you're going to have to get a job that hires people in pajamas. So it's attracting what you actually want. So, you can't just go into something wanting this really good husband and be like, well, just accept my vaping and partying, unless that's the type of guy that you're looking at to marry.
I mean,
Can I say something to
Nope.
her?
okay, go
It'll
ahead.
be very
Quick,
kind.
quick. All right, go ahead.
I would like to. I dream of getting married when I graduate college too, as well. I think that we should just take this time to really learn about ourselves
Oh, boy.
and what mistakes we can make, even if that's choosing our needs first. You with the whole vaping thing, I have not talked to people because they took my vape or they didn't want to get me one. Trust me, you're not alone when it comes to that. But we do need to work on that. And if we are looking for someone that wants to spend the rest of their lives with us, how are we living our lives? And what are we gonna do to make it a better situation for us to be in a relationship? I feel we should take deep looks at ourselves, not just you but me too, and just notice even calling him a certain type of name and out of his name, maybe thinking about, okay, well, would it be okay if he did that to me? And I can do the same thing, yelling at people, burning their stuff, is that okay if they do it to me? Just kind of asking ourselves how we can move forward without hurting the other person, even if it's really small or even if it's really big.
That was beautiful. Oh, look at that.
Ulysses the Pagan donated $200. Feminism is why guys are checking out. We're called narcissistic predators. Most women have been indoctrinated and brainwashed into this unfounded belief and wonder why MGTOW became a thing.
Hey, the pagan. Thank you, man. Appreciate your TTS. Thank you so much for your patronage, man. Well put.
I agree.
Really quick
I
on the
agree,
whole,
too.
don't lead people on thing. This is, again, just going back to my confusion here. So would it be leading a woman on if I told her I want I'm desirous of marriage, want a long-term relationship, but then she gets the commitment, but then nobody's obliged to stay with somebody really for any reason. But if we're dating for 6 months and then out of the blue, she just starts, I can't even, calls me a bitch, or I'm trying to think of an extreme example, murders my family, is it leading her on if I break up with her after she's gone and murdered my entire family, even though I told her I wanted a long-term relationship? So I guess my thing is, it's not leading a girl on to say that you want to date her, but then she behaves in ways or does things that you don't like. No more, and I wouldn't, a woman could break up with, this isn't a double standard thing. A woman can break up with a guy because he's being lazy or whatever the reasons are that you don't want to date a guy.
I just don't think you can be
So-
led on. If you're an adult, you're making a decision to be somewhere with someone. I'm saying in that situation, trying to just play devil's advocate, but you really can't be led on. It's behaviors changes. There's that. People change. People, you kind of grow. Either you grow together or you grow apart. I don't think it's leading on.
And I think the other thing, damn it, totally just slipped my mind. What was the other thing? So it was really good too. It was going to blow all your minds, but it just just left my mind. So if it comes back to me later, I guess I'll think about it. The video? From the Daily Mail? Yeah, we can. Actually, let me pull up a couple chats first, and then we'll. All right, we have Bucky, Larson, Lizzie. Can you read this one?
My third cousin just sadly got divorced and he has 2 kids. Ladies, would you sign a legal contract that said whoever initiates divorce is entitled to nothing?
He has 2 kids. Ladies, would you sign a legal contract that said whoever initiates divorce is entitled to nothing? Going around the table, would you sign that contract? Whoever initiates the divorce gets nothing.
I think circumstantial. So if my husband told me to stay at home with the kids and I stayed at home and then divorced, probably not. So it depends on what type of marriage or what situation we were going into. If we are both working, yes, I would sign it.
I think so. I think I would sign it only because if I'm prepared to leave the relationship, the marriage, I have to know at the back of my mind that could be losing everything. So that's why I would.
I agree with Jess.
Well, I would just like to say counsel, not cancel. And I would just say, like, over time, the heart changes. So if someone falls out of love, it's not really their fault. It's like, I wouldn't sign that. No, I wouldn't sign that at all.
Wait, you wouldn't sign it?
Because if someone wants to divorce me because they're no longer in love with me, is that necessarily their fault? Like, the heart changes over time.
Relationships are work, though. Like, that's something that you have to continue to work on over years.
And if
like,
it's not
every day is
working-
not 100%.
If it's not working, we're working on it, it's not working. What are we going to do, just sit in hell together? Like, no.
I just think when you get married to someone, that's something that you're committing to them for the rest of your life, and you're
Yeah.
going to work through the ups and downs, and
Yeah.
it's going to be hard. Marriage isn't easy.
Yeah, I'm not saying to give up easily, but I'm not going to stay in something that I know is not working. Even if we try, we go to counseling, we do this. Like, I see marriages that are not healthy for the children.
Right, so you're fine with divorce.
I mean, I don't like divorce, but I don't want to sit with someone I'm not happy with.
Okay, but so the question is, whoever initiates divorce is entitled to nothing.
Nothing, yeah, I wouldn't sign that. I
So
wouldn't sign that.
you are entitled, you feel entitled to something in divorce.
If we both
like
have
financial.
kids, then yeah, we need to take care of our children, like split the house, split whatever we need to split, but I don't think...
Even if you're the breadwinner? So like, let's say you're out earning your husband.
I'm sorry?
If you were out earning your husband and he wanted to divorce you, you're fine, like paying him alimony, child support, etc.
I mean, if that's what it came to, yeah. If I could
Okay.
afford that, yeah,
Okay.
of course.
What about you?
I agree with her. I also agree with her as well. I think it's situational, just depending.
What about you?
I agree with them. Like, it's situational.
What do you mean situational?
Like, overall, just being prepared, and if both of us are working. Does that make sense? I think she said something similar like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends.
Yes, I would sign.
Okay.
I would, because I think that if you're having too many doubts about signing that, you probably shouldn't be making a lifelong commitment to that person, because a lot of people, especially younger nowadays, just go into marriage with the idea of like, oh, well, if it doesn't work out, I can get divorced. That should not even be something you are thinking about at all when you're going into marrying
What about
someone.
I would sign it.
I agree with her.
Well, you got to just restate because
I would only sign it depending on the circumstance. So, like, if
what's
he
the
can't-
circumstance?
If we were both working, I would sign it. However, if I was a stay-at-home mom and let's say he cheated, I don't give that chance. And I think that I wouldn't sign it if he betrayed our marriage.
Yeah, so I think the original, like, 50-50 was because of families, right? But now a lot of people aren't having families anymore, but women are still able to take 50%. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where the issue is. But you should talk about this if you're going to get married to someone and see, do you want to have a family? What does that look like? Are we both going to work? Do you want me to stay at home? And that's...
And that's why you shouldn't get married as a guy. I don't think you should get married. Don't get married.
Who's going to take care of you when you're old?
My long-term monogamous girlfriend.
What if she dies before you? Well, I guess
What
so
does that
your
have to
wife,
do?
too.
Well, yeah, that could be the same thing. Here, let me. So, who objects to my don't get married position? Them two. What about you? Any objections?
I think marriage, too many people just do it because just to do it. I think
Yeah.
marriage is something people should think about as far as like lifestyle, beliefs, family, all those stuff. It's
Into
not
the mic.
just the next step in a relationship, and I think that's why divorce is so high.
Right.
It's sacred to me. It's sacred, and that's why for me, when I get married, if I get married, then it's
Safer.
no, it's sacred. So for
That's
me, the
sacred.
vows are sacred. Like you said, relationships are work. I put my all in my relationships, let alone the marriage. Where when I'm married, I don't believe in divorces. We're working this out. We're figuring it out one way or another. We're a team, so we'll figure it out. So I don't know.
Yeah, you say that now.
No, I stick it through. I'm one of those. Through the good and the bad, I will stand by you, and I've done that in relationships. So I know as a wife, I will stand by you no matter what. But it does take two, so I can't save a relationship by myself. So it
But
has to
I
take two.
mean, not to poke too much here, but you said your longest relationship was 3 years.
3.5 years.
You're 40. I mean, you haven't really, I'm not poking at your age, but
That's fine.
I mean, you have not had like a substantially long-term relationship.
Well,
yet.
I was celibate for about 5 years that I didn't want to. In between those two relationships, yeah, these were to me serious relationships where I tried.
Yeah, sure. 3 is decent, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like super long, you know?
Well, it's pretty long for me, but again, it wasn't on my end. We tried, and I gave it my all, and the person wasn't ready to give me what I wanted.
Sure. Now, I think you guys had maybe some disagreements on the marriage stuff.
Yeah, I originally, when I messaged, that was one of the questions that I'd answered, and I said, I was like, oh, that's so sad that you don't want to get married. However, I listened to one of your podcasts, and I can't remember exactly what you had said, but just kind of you saying, I'm not super religious, so I can't even stand on the whole, I'm religious, and I think that's why people should get married. But I do think, for me personally, you're going into it 100%. It's divorce isn't an option. So for me, that's kind of like that last seal, but no different than like a prenup or something like that too. So I agree. I understand why you don't want to get married, just because people, I think it's more disposable for a lot of people than some.
Okay.
So, and I can't remember exactly what you said in your podcast.
Yeah.
Or in one of the shows as to why you didn't want to get
If
married.
I remember correctly, I think that he said something along the lines of, even if you have a prenup, there's a good chance that it could get thrown out and she could still take like half of everything that he has. So, which I understand that if you're not religious and, it doesn't hold a lot of value to you, then don't get married.
Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch. I have a lot of justifications for my anti-marriage stance. I actually don't object to it for people who are religious, but for my own self, outside of religious reasons to get married, I actually don't really see any reason to get married. But I'm open to hearing any challenges to my position. I think you two raised your hands in objection. I'd like to hear.
So
your,
let's say you
thoughts.
have a long-term girlfriend who's
Yeah.
loyal to you and she's pregnant. I don't know if you have any children, but if not, that'll be your first child. And she's asking you for commitment and security. She wants security in the home. She doesn't want to think that you'll leave her for another woman and get another woman pregnant, and that's why she wants marriage. What would you say to that?
What would I say to what?
To that proposal.
Saying
Like
she
her
wants to get
wanting
married
marriage
because
she wants security.
Wow, this is a really traditional relationship where she gets pregnant out of wedlock, but okay, we
mean,
can
it
have that
happens.
conversation. Well, yeah, it happens, but I mean, we're already not a traditional arrangement to begin with, so what will us being married achieve that, so her,
I'm saying to you, okay, let's say,
how she benefits.
let's say-
how do I benefit? You
Yes,
need to
because you
sell.
have security
If
as
you
well.
want
Because
me
you're
to
my
hold on,
security.
you need no. This is the woman's perspective.
Yeah.
If you want to convince me as a man to get married, how do I stand to benefit?
Okay, if we're together, I'm assuming we're in love. So
Yeah,
if you love
sure.
me and you love our future child, I want a house together. I want to build together a family.
I can give you that without
And
marriage. But
I
go
don't
ahead.
want you to leave me for another woman and get her pregnant and go and do the same thing with her that you're doing with me.
Why
Wait
do
a
I?
minute.
Why does
People
marriage?
do that.
Hold on. Why does marriage?
Why is it benefiting him?
Why is marriage necessary
Not her,
even
get
for
her
that?
point.
I mean, I guess being the man of the
But
house, I would assume.
was your argument if I love her enough, I should get married to her?
Yeah, I
If
mean,
she loves
for
me
the
enough,
kid and for
she
the
should stay
family.
with me despite my desires to not get married.
I mean, what would you be?
So I've just
why are
defeated
you
your argument.
opposing? Why are you opposing marriage? You don't want to be committed to me. You don't want to give me the security that I
hold on.
desire.
Why can't I be committed to her outside of marriage?
Because I don't believe you.
That's not
You
committed.
don't believe me. I don't believe that you won't divorce me. So where?
Then you guys shouldn't
where
get
does that
married.
leave us? No, but
It just sounds like-
Okay, so I can give you reasons. I can present to you reasons why I'm not really for marriage. I would actually like, though, to hear. I think this is a good starting point. Can you present to me compelling and convincing arguments why I or other men should get married?
I think the first thing that came to mind is that how serious a real man is. So if you are a real man, who stands on his word, you stand on your word, you stand on what you do in life, and you say, hey, you're the one I want, and I want to live the rest of my life with you, and I don't want anybody else.
Why do I need a marriage for that?
But
Why do I need a marriage
if you're
for that?
saying that, prove it. Show by your actions you have the action to put my hand in wedlock, as in a commitment. A commitment is to severe, like
Okay.
seriousness.
I think that's totally
Commitment
fair.
is marriage.
Let me give you
commitment is marriage.
Yeah,
Andrew,
let me
it's
give you a
okay.
very quick, easy rebuttal to this, and I'm just curious. Okay, so you're the one, let's assume the man says, you're the one that I want forever. They think that you're great. You're the greatest ever. I want to only be with you for the rest of my life, and I want to commit to that. Will you commit to give him a prenup so that if you divorce him, you get nothing?
Is this a question?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like a statement, but okay.
Would you commit to a prenup so that you get nothing if there was a
No, I
divorce?
already said no. I don't agree with someone signing into marriage and not getting anything. If you both put in work and you just leave the marriage with nothing, I don't think that's fair.
Well, that's really quite the strange argument then to say, well, wait, I expect this lifetime commitment from you in order to prove and demonstrate that you love me. Where's the demonstration of love from you?
What do you mean? Where is the demonstration? I want
Well,
you to commit
couldn't
to
you
me. I love
demonstrate
you. I
that
want you
you
to commit
were
to me.
equally as serious
I want
by
you to
saying
commit
it's
to me.
fine?
I would sign a prenup
if I
because I
decide
know
to leave
what
the
I'm
marriage,
doing in life. And
if you ask a question, you have to give me a second to answer the question.
Yeah, I would
So-
sign a prenup.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, hang on, calm down. Let me finish. Chill out. So if the argument is to say, hey, I need a commitment from a man, so he only picks me. Okay, that's it. It's just me, and that's his demonstration he loves me. Couldn't the man then equally say that the demonstration from the woman to show that she loves him is that there's any sort of infidelity, cold bed, or financial irresponsibility, things like this, she leaves with nothing regardless of who initiates the divorce?
Yes, I agree. Because that's just showing like you're trying to say, okay, I'm going to be a real man to you, but I want to make sure you have my back no matter if you change as a person. You signing this is showing me you're real, that you would never do this. So if you do this, then that's on you. Like if you do cheat on me, if you do not take care of your money, if you do not take care of my kids, do not take care of me as your husband, then yeah, that's on her as a wife.
Then why would there be a requirement of marriage at all?
Because that's commitment. That's
Yeah, but you can to make those same commitments. There's now no safeguards. So if you made the commitment external to marriage, how is that not the exact
That's
same
a
thing as
vow.
making a commitment in marriage?
It's a sacred. It's holy matrimony.
It's like
a
saying,
sacred
okay,
vow
we're
to
dating
another.
is the same thing as us being married. How is that the same?
You're taking the
The
vow.
commitment.
It's not about. It's not about the
How is
money.
that- no, because I could
turning
cheat on you
marriage into
tomorrow.
money.
If
And
you
that's
ask
my
a
disagreement with you.
question, you have to let me answer it. Calm down, okay? So the question which was asked is, how is this the same? We're talking about commitment. So if you are dating, you say, I want to commit to you for life, but I just don't want to do the marriage thing. And if we do the marriage thing, there's not going to be any protections for you anyway because you agree to sign them all away. So what would be the distinction exactly?
It's like comparing a baby mama to a wife, or like this is my wife and this is my kid, or this is my baby mama and we live together. Is that the same? Is that the same?
I don't
No, it's
see why
not.
you
It's-
couldn't have a commitment
not
with
the
a
same.
woman.
Because it's whole. It's
Okay, listen. Yes, logically, this could be the exact same. It would logically be the exact same to say, I'm married to you, or I'm committing to you for life, and you have the same exact outcome both ways. How's that not the same thing?
It's absolutely not the same thing because
Okay, well,
marriage
then
is a
tell me
vow.
how.
It's a holy matrimony. If you don't take your word seriously as a man, hey, I want to be with you the rest of my life. so I'm
Holy
going-
infers religious.
No, it doesn't have
We're
to be.
talking
Holy
about a
matrimony is
secular
like
argument. Well, then it's
divine-
not holy. If it's secular, it can't be
Marriage
holy.
is holy because you're actually
Then
taking it
it's-
home
then
and
it's-
putting your protection over for your life and your death. After you die, that's your wife. If you die, that was your wife in this life. And the
How
next.
would that be holy absent religion?
It doesn't have to do with to religion. Holy
Yeah,
is
that's
saying
what we're
it's
talking about is
spiritual, it's-
secular
it's
marriage. We're not
taking
talking
your
about
body,
religious
your
marriage.
mind, and everything into this person.
The
Saying,
problem
this
is
with
you're
me and you
you're
are together.
arguing against arguments I'm not making. So we're talking
Your argument is
specifically about
invalid to me.
secular. We're talking about specifically secular marriage. Secular. You know what the word secular means?
Please inform me.
You don't know what it means, do you? You don't actually
Please
know what
inform me.
secular means. Tell me what
I could take an
secular
estimated
means.
guess. I could take an estimated guess, but I just said please inform me.
Okay, then take an estimated guess, as you put it. It would be an educated guess, but you can take an estimated guess. What is your estimated guess about what secular means?
One, like to be in one, secular, like.
Specific? Specified? Specific? I don't know.
Oneness. I don't know.
Erroneous.
I got to take a break after that one.
Okay, I'll take over. I'll take over here for a sec.
Do you want kids?
Hold on. So, okay, secular, that would be like a-religious, not religious.
Oh, I've never heard of that term.
You guys got to speak into the mics. You're too far away.
Sorry. Never heard of the term, but thank you for educating me.
You've never heard the term secular?
Not in that
All right.
in this tense, no.
Okay. So,
What tense have you heard secular in?
No tense. No tense. No tense. Okay, you got
No
it. You
tense.
got it. Okay. This was your first win. Thank you.
okay, so
Secular just means non-religious,
Okay.
not specific. It
Okay.
means non-religious.
I did say that, non-specific. I did say that was my estimated guess. Well, yeah, being in a marriage, I feel like
It's not non-specific. It doesn't
I just
mean
don't
non-specific.
feel like if you're
It means
married
not
and you have a baby
religious.
mama, that's the same. Okay, thank you for the clear. It's not the same. Like it's just not.
okay, it's not the same, I guess.
It isn't. Like, it's just common
Okay,
sense.
so I've yet to hear an actual compelling argument why I should get married.
Do you want
So-
kids? I think kids is a big thing with
Sure,
marriage.
yeah. I want
So-
7 kids.
All right, if you want 7 kids, what's the last name for the children? The girlfriend or yours? And would it bother you, since she's the one carrying them, if she just said, well, I want them to have the same last name as me, and now you did not share the same last name as your children? I think that's a good reason too.
You can.
Why would that?
Hold on.
Why would that be a
Wait,
requirement
hold
of
on.
marriage?
I'll just rebut it myself. So, okay. First off, you don't need to be married in order for your children to take your last name.
But what about the girlfriend?
Yeah.
What do
Then
you
she
mean?
gets excluded. Now she doesn't share the same last name as her own children.
What does that have to do with anything?
Why would the kids take your last name instead of your girlfriend?
So what's your argument here? If I don't marry
think-
her, she won't put.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you don't marry, and
Okay,
this-
cool. Then you know what? We can go 50-50 on everything, and
Hyphenated.
and she can protect us in the event of a home invasion. Fine, that's cool.
Yes, you can put the father's last name
Yeah,
on
you
the
don't-
birth certificate,
you don't need
even
to
if you're
be-
not married.
Yeah, you don't
No,
need
I
to
know
be
that.
married.
I know
right,
that.
but that's not a
who
compelling.
gets to choose the last name is what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
know
so
can
if you
choose.
were to say we're in a committed relationship and I want the children before we have them to have my last name, and you agree to it, why would that require marriage?
No, that's true. If you agree to it,
Doesn't
honestly,
require
it's-
marriage.
You agree to it. That's
Yeah.
if you agree to it. But the thing is like what she's saying is
Hold on.
these questions
Wait,
wouldn't even
hold
happen
on.
if you were married.
Even if we're fucking married, she can still say she
that's
doesn't
an
want my
automatic
name.
thing.
So that's a bullshit argument.
that's-
it would be an
That's
automatic
a fucking
thing.
toaster brain argument.
No, but that
Even
is
if we're
true.
married, she can say, I want hyphenation. I want them to have my last name.
This is why it's important. I think if you are going to get married, that's why I don't think marriage is for everyone. But if you are going to get married, you should talk about these
But it's not a
things.
compelling argument.
It may not be for you, but I know if I had kids, it would really bother me if they didn't share the same last name as me. And I also don't believe in hyphenating names, so I took my husband's last name.
So if I'm pregnant
But
with
I
your
s-
child and
Okay.
you don't want to get married to me, I'm gonna just leave and go to the next with your child in my
That's a
stomach.
major L for you.
But no,
That's a
it's like
major
I want
L
to
for
find
you.
someone that's gonna build a family with me.
She gonna get
And
married.
you're
Build a
not putting a
family.
ring on it.
That's not
You're
a
not putting a
major
ring
L.
on it like Beyonce said. So what's the point of me and you being together? You're just leading me on. You're just giving me
What
a
are you
fantasy
talking
of a home. Like, oh, I'm playing wife and husband.
When you don't
but
want
you're not trying to
when you guys
commit.
get in a fight, you guys break up. There's no okay,
There's
we're
nothing to
broken
keep-
up.
This is still not a
just
you've still
a
failed to
game.
make a compelling reason why I ought to get married.
Which is like
Like if you want your
This is all
woman
from
to stay
this
with
is
you,
all from the
I
female
don't know.
viewpoint. Me. I have not heard a compelling reason why I as a man should get married.
You said you want someone to
She
take
would
care of you
for life.
I
when
never
you're
said
old.
that. I literally never even
What?
said
Take
that.
care of you for I don't know what
I
you
didn't
said.
say
You
that.
said,
That
"Oh,
wasn't my
who's going
argument.
to take care of you?" You're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
my
that was
monogamous
a question.
girlfriend or
That
something
was a
like
question
that."
posed to me by somebody else. I never said that. In fact, I'll even engage with that. I don't need marriage to have that. What's your next point?
I have one point that I feel like if you can debunk it if you like, but if you like love someone, like you truly love them to the bottom of your heart, and you
Yeah.
want to be with them for the rest of your life, why do you not want to marry her?
Why doesn't she, if she really loves me, not want to do some bullshit government thing which involves the state in
And
our
it doesn't
relationship?
have to be it doesn't have to be government. It could be something sacred, like going to a temple or just going to Hawaii and having
Yeah,
some.
that's why the
person-
example is
I feel like
non-religious.
relationship is regardless sacred
Yeah.
too. What is a
It's
golden
Yeah, but that's why the
hog?
example is non-religious. So,
What's
so what he's
Goldie
saying is
Hawn and
non-religious
Kurt Russell?
marriage.
Who
So
are they
yes,
that have been together for 20 years?
he's granting.
Then
in
yeah,
this
he's
case,
right. Yeah, if it's non-religious, then it doesn't matter.
Sure, that's a great reason to do it. But if you're not religious,
Then yeah,
what
it
would the
doesn't matter.
actual compelling argument be?
There's none.
It's
There's none.
literally for tax benefits.
Yeah, no, so he's right. Yeah, you don't have to get married if
And
you
a
don't
pretty
have
ring.
that spiritual faith that this is something
God is
important.
real.
So if there is no religious or spiritual backing to the marriage, then he is absolutely right. Men shouldn't get married if they don't have that spiritual.
It's not even just men; it's
religious
men or
faith.
women. Like
Men or women,
like
yes.
like I was saying, I don't know who.
Well,
who's-
hold on. If the man's the breadwinner, women have absolutely everything to gain by getting married.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want the
But vice
protection and
versa as well.
provider,
Celebrity
Men are
women like
typ-
Cher.
Men are overwhelmingly breadwinners in relationships.
I mean, I'm all for the gender roles.
Not in what? Sorry, not in
when
what?
it comes
Not
to
in
that.
this generation. There's more
Not
women.
this.
Well, that's because women are a lot more masculine, and feminism has fucked that up. So that's a whole different story. Like when I get married, the reason why, like you were saying, the age thing, I don't want to settle. I'd rather be single and be happy than settle for something I don't want. I want a true protector and provider because I will play my role as the wife, to be the peace, to be the nurturer, to take care of the home, take care of the kids. And if I can't have that, then I don't want that. Like same thing with that goes.
But
I don't need to. The society's not going to put a thing on me that you need to be married, you need to have kids. No, I don't need to do any of that. If it's with the right person and I get everything that I want, 100%, I will be all for it. If not, I'm happy taking care of myself, providing for myself. If you're not adding value to it, if you're not a protector and provider, then I'm going to continue to protect and provide for myself. Why do I need a man? A man has a true.
Killer of Cereal donated
Yo, what's up?
$200.
What's up, Killer?
What attitude do you bring to the relationship that is not selfish in context? Perhaps your boyfriend feels detached from the idea based on a rocky past. Is he or are you afraid to break it off? Why?
Yo, Kill of Cereal, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Really good to see you in the chat, man. You are.
He's a brave and a decent man. He's a pioneer.
What attitude do you bring to the relationship that is not selfish? Wait, who's this directed to? Perhaps your boyfriend.
I think maybe girls in general.
Killer of Cereal. What attitude do you bring to the relationship? Perhaps your boyfriend feels detached from the idea based on a rocky past. Is he or you afraid to break it off? Why?
Maybe this is previous conversation when we had with the breakup. Anyone can
It
break up.
could
And
be.
Oh,
With the marriage.
But I wanted to ask you something after you were done speaking.
I'm ready.
So with his point, like, because I was saying marriage should be like holy and sacred, like that has to do with non-religious, or that has to do with religious or a spiritual belief of something higher. But he was saying, no, I'm talking about as in just non-religious, nothing to do with spirituality, just a woman and a man. I don't want to get married. Do you believe that he is like accurate in that standpoint, like of him saying that there's no reason for women and men to get married?
I mean,
if there's no religious or spiritual reason.
Really, there's
Foundation.
as far as when it comes to financial benefits, there really isn't any for the man to do that because
Whole bunch
as a
of
man,
risk.
yeah, they're the protector and the providers, yeah, right. So they have to take care of the whole family. So it's like really there isn't a benefit. Yes, have someone to take care of you, be your peace, be your nurturer. You can have all those with the relationship. I think the security of the marriage comes in that, hey, we are taking a vow. Yes, relationships you can recommit to yourself. Like I was saying, what is it, Goldie Hawn? Is it Kurt Russell? They've been together for 20 years. They've never gotten married. They just choose to be together every year, and you can have that too. So I feel like I don't know. With me, I just don't believe in divorces. So for me, if I'm gonna get married, it's all in. I want everything I have, and we're gonna put in the work. So if not, then I'm not really in a rush or thing about marriage either.
Right,
to be
but
honest
I mean,
with you.
so with that whole thing though, women reserve the right at any moment to change their minds. So let me
do
ask you
men.
guys a question. Do you think a divorce would be justified if the woman was just vaguely unhappy? So the guy treats her well, provides for the wife and the kids, isn't abusive in any way. Maybe he's just boring. She's unhappy. She's just vaguely unhappy. He's not abusive. He actually treats her perfectly, but she's vaguely unhappy. Is that enough justification for her to get a divorce?
No, change perspective.
Okay, that's plenty of. Very often, that's precisely the reason for women wanting to get the divorce. There's no evidence of any abuse whatsoever. The woman is just vaguely unhappy.
Well, see,
and needs to find herself.
Yeah, but see, I feel like it's the same thing. Men can change their minds as well. Like in the relationship that I was, he was the one that kept changing his mind and coming back. It's like making the permanent decisions on temporary emotions. And it's like you can't do that. Anyone can change their mind at any time. But it's. I think the marriage is more of the security where you can walk away from the marriage a lot. At any time as well, but there's a lot more to lose, so you're more committed into working it out as opposed to a relationship, because if you walk away from a relationship, you're not really losing much. You are, obviously,
So it gives
depending.
the woman or
Both.
the breadwinner, it gives the woman massive leverage to basically bully the man around in the relationship.
Yeah, but
No,
I mean,
not
if that's
necessarily.
not...
Yes, necessarily.
well, if you have children, like to stay together, like and to raise the kids together and make a happy home, even if you necessarily aren't happy, that takes a lot of strength and courage. And to grow old together, and like you guys are old and taking care of one another, I don't necessarily think that old people love each other like the first day they got married. Like love changes over time. It's like the maturity, having that maturity and courage to stay and build that family, because we're a family and we don't want to break
Why
the
do
family.
I need a marriage for that?
Because it's strength.
But
It
who
strengthens
hurt
the
you,
family.
Ryan?
I truly
How
believe
does
that
it-
strengthens the family.
Did we just hear the
We
who
heard
hurt you
you.
shit?
I was
Did
kidding.
I just hear the who hurt you shit? Who hurt you, Brian? Did you really
hurt
just say
you,
who
Ryan?
hurt
Damn
you?
it.
Who hurt me? Well, by the way, Killa of Cereal, can you shoot me a DM on Instagram? Because I didn't want to. I know you sent in a TTS. Don't want to skip over it. Perhaps could you provide a bit more clarification? Feel free to DM at whatever on Instagram. I'll be on the lookout for it. I don't know if we've DM'd before. Just bump up our messages, but I don't want to just skip over it. So if you can provide, is this directed at somebody specific, Killa? Anyways, I still. Just don't.
I
agree
think
with you.
you
I think
should
you're
not
right.
get married. Like, if that's not what you want for yourself, then you should get everything that you do want for yourself. Like, we should not convince you. Like, you should
I just
want
don't
to
think
convince
I
someone.
just don't
else.
think you will truly be happy with your life if you don't get married.
Why?
No.
Yeah, I-
Why?
Because I feel like it's a part of
hold on.
happiness.
Tell me.
No,
Okay,
that-
here's a
that's
different
false.
question.
That's for sure
Hold
false.
on. Here's a different question. What do I get in a marriage that I can't get from a long-term monogamous relationship?
The security
Tax
and
write-offs.
commitment.
What security? I would actually.
Security.
I
What does
actually
security
think,
mean in a marriage? Like,
no, but
what is
I could just make the argument. I can make the argument that simply by virtue of me getting married, I've now introduced an incentive to the woman. Let's say unless a woman's making a lot of money, I'm probably going to be out earning her significantly. So by marrying her, I've now introduced an incentive where if she does divorce me, and we've been married for a long enough period of time, she gets a financial payment for divorcing me. Whereas if she breaks up with me and we're in a relationship, then she actually has a loss on her end.
So are you
So-
scared of relationships?
Not scared of
or
relationships at all.
losing?
He's
Are you
scared
scared
of
of
the
losing?
financial
Or are you
loss.
scared of
The
divorce?
financial
Like,
loss.
are
I
you
agree
scared
with
of
that.
losing
He's right,
something
that
or
guy.
divorce?
He's right. It's just a more honorable thing. Like I said, that was my main point, was being a real man. That was my first
Honorable.
point.
It's more honorable.
It's
Okay, it's
to-
like this.
Honorable,
I don't
yes,
know
it's
how
honorable. You
your
took your commitment to the
relationships.
highest level.
I don't know how your
Hang on,
relationships
guys. One at a
work.
time. One at a time.
I don't know how your relationships work. Like, if you're dating someone, does she move in with you? Does she live with you? I don't even know.
Sure.
But in a marriage, if you're dating someone, they shouldn't just automatically move in with you and live with you 24/7. I feel like that's just too fast. But when you're married, you take that step. Like, okay, let's live together and let's build a family. Let's have kids.
Yep.
I'll cook for you breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh,
or
I
whatever.
can get all of that.
I'm sure you
without
can
marriage.
without
I can
marriage,
get
but
all
it's
of it without
not.
marriage.
I wouldn't say that's
not real,
fulfilling.
though.
It's not.
It's
It's
Doesn't-
not.
There's no feeling.
It's just
Well,
not
you
the
know-
same.
It's not the highest you could go. Let's say there's a mountain, right? And everyone knows the mountain is the height, like the point of the mountain, the tip of the mountain is the highest point. Everybody knows marriage is the highest form of commitment. Am I wrong? Is
In a
marriage,
relationship.
yes or no, is marriage the
I
highest
could actually
form
think
of commitment?
I could think of higher forms of
What is
commitment.
it?
From a
What is
secular
it?
perspective, no.
I'm sorry?
He said from a secular perspective, no.
So what is the highest form of commitment in a secular perspective?
It would just be whatever two human beings agreed it was.
Yeah.
No.
So if you said, "Oh, okay, well, can I get my answer out before you spurg again? So anyway, yes, if two secularists agreed that they were committed to each other and that they were the highest form they could ever be, how could you ever demonstrate that they weren't?
Because I just don't truly believe that you will feel secure with your man.
She will feel secure?
Because
Yeah, I don't
you
think
feel?
she will.
Oh, your argument is because I feel?
think
Oh, I
that.
feel like you're wrong. Oh, well, so then as long as we just feel, then I guess it's okay, right? You feel like that, I
Killer
feel
of
like you're
Syrian
wrong.
donated 200.